So let's talk battle rap, man. Let's get into this real quick. We can close out the show. So, Smack had an interview he did with Hip Hop Is Real, I believe. Covered a couple of topics. I know the first clip I saw said that this year he was going to be addressing, like he was tired of kind of being behind the scenes and letting people talk crazy on their name. Um, and so he said he's going to be addressing everything. And then another clip from that interview dropped this week, and Smack said that the big bag era was over, that the money's not there anymore, the sponsorship's not there, YouTube's not paying, and you won't be able to see. I think, in that caffeine era, you were getting like an event like once a month, once every other month from URL. On top of the app events, like you might see them pop out for a live event maybe 2 or 3 times this year. And so there's been a lot of uproar about battle rap is dead because obviously people connect battle rap with URL. And if URL is not flourishing, then battle rap isn't flourishing. So I wanted to get your take on all the hubbub about battle rap and the big bag era and what this means for not only URL, but for the culture in general.
Well, as someone who is sad because apparently there was a big bag era that I was never a part of, no, I think that I think what Smack did, and I think people kind of don't give them the benefit of the doubt, URL, and how strategic they are. I think a lot of times people just think, these cameras pop up and, Smack just says whatever he's thinking, or, I think what he said was a very strategic, comment. I think, he wanted to kind of reset the minds of battle rappers and reset, the minds of the fans, and just kind of put some things in perspective. And he wanted to publicly say it so that we would have these conversations, and so that people would be like, oh, snap, Uncle Smack really, really talking that talk. You know what I mean? And so the whole big bag, he could have just said we're not with caffeine anymore. You know what I mean? Because that big bag era was attached to caffeine. So, a lot of people know they partner with caffeine. Like, battle rappers were literally getting double and triple the amount that they were getting at the time for these caffeine events, because caffeine comes with a budget, and they say, use this whole budget. And I don't believe, I'm not like a complete insider, but I don't believe it was, well, if you can get them to do it for this, you could pocket the rest of it. I'm pretty sure it was hey, here's what we got, pay these guys, So they're like, hey, let me give you this, this bag, boom, 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 boom. All of a sudden everybody's making a lot more money. That's when you started getting battlers say, oh, I only want to do caffeine events. I don't want to do the app events. I only want to do caffeine events. That's when. And I think what happened was, I think URL expected more loyalty out of a lot of the battlers than they really got.
Yeah.
I expected, put all of this money and started getting you paid and everything like that. And then at the first chance of, oh, y'all still out here complaining, I can't put my battle on YouTube. I can't, you know what I mean? Which things I've always said that I wouldn't like to have either. But like, bro, I put all this money in your pockets and y'all still out here. You know what I mean? All right, well, bet. Guess what? Caffeine, that whole relationship, I don't know where it's at. I don't know if there's been an announcement made that they're not doing it or what, but it seems to me like caffeine is scaled back and doing a lot less. I think strategically he said, yo, guess what? We back to square, we resetting this. We're taking our first quarter, and we're looking at the budget, and then we'll get back to you. But we're not just throwing this bread. At one point in time, I don't know. That Philly, didn't we have Freeway and Cassidy like they were supposed to battle? Right? And then right now, another thing, you got Mook and you got Hitman going back and forth with each other, and they are two of the most, lucrative big bag guys in battle rap, And so I don't know if that's another way of him saying like, hey, I see everything y'all talking trash about the third, but I'm not, don't come to me like I need that amount. You know what I mean? So I think it's a strategic thing for URL. I laughed, but I think it was very, very true. And I think you saw the tweet too that Luke Castro said, and he's like, "Yo, Smack's talking about the $50,000 dudes, not you $1,500 battlers. Like y'all safe, you know what I mean?" And so, a hilarious tweet because it's true. Like you got people on Twitter like, "Oh my gosh, I'm not gonna." It's like, nah, bro, you was getting 1,500, you was getting 1,000. Don't worry, your bus ticket still paid for. They're going, we're gonna need that content. You're good. You know what I mean? I think it was just a message sent to, Mook, Hitman, maybe even industry battlers that think they want to jump back in the ring, or those guys, this is like, yo, like, we're not about to waste our entire budget anymore on these big battles. We got an app to feed content to, we got a roster of 100 people. We're going to invest in these young dudes and we're going to build them up, because those big bags, like an easy to block captain, turn around a jet. It's like, dang, we expected y'all to hold us down. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I definitely think it's interesting. You could definitely see Caffeine. Obviously, last year was kind of put the battle rap culture on notice, right? And what you had Kings versus Queens, you had Summer Madness. I think Homecoming was live on Caffeine, and then Known.
Yeah,
and
so
I don't think
4 or 5 events maybe.
four. Yeah, there may have been a fifth one that I don't remember, but I don't. I think that was it.
Yeah, the
And
days
so
of the super fights every month and the days of all of that are, they're
the
gone.
light works and all of that stuff like that, that appears for now to be done at least on URL. My hope for the URL is that they are able to. To me, there are two additional ways of getting revenue. I think it is having people subscribe to YouTube and rebuilding your standing that way. If people want to watch the battles, right, you can still feed the app first. For those who want to be faithful to the app, they can do so. For those who want YouTube drops, maybe you don't put the entire catalog on there because, yes, you do want to drive people to the app, but then some of those newer guys that you're trying to build up, in my opinion, or maybe a big time battle that is going to get 2-3 million views, you say, yo, 2 months, 3 months after it's been on the app, now here's a drop for the streets. But if you want to see it first, you got to pay us $8.99 a month, like whatever the subscription rates are. Because I think even iBattle, I think, has a subscription where when they drop, if you don't have the app, when they drop battles on YouTube, if you're part of their subscriber community, they get it first for like a couple of days, a week. I don't know how long the length of time is. Then it drops on YouTube for free for everyone else to consume. Get that subscription-based service, and those who want to pay on YouTube can get it. And then they wait another month or two, and then it drops for free. To me, that's another additional revenue stream. If the Caffeine era is done, I don't think it's done because they're still running, if not maybe URL content, they're running other leagues content, right? Like we've seen, I think, Chilla's league. Is it the Shark Tank?
TBL
Total,
Shark Tank. They kind of got
okay. Right, TBL Shark Tank. You've seen Tay-Rock's No Entourage on there, right? Yeah. Gates of the Garden has been on there. OSBL has been on there, right? So you've seen different leagues on the channel. So maybe it's not completely dead, but the day that it completely dies, I would love to see them put everything into their app and then run it straight from the app and have people, if you want to watch Redemption 3, which they just filmed, if you want to watch Rookies versus Vets, if you are interested at all, then let's sign up for the app and then try to build in, because I do think there's something to this idea of battle rappers who, these newer guys who come in, they get on URL, they get on not just URL or RBE or whatever, and they think, oh, I made it. I deserve Tay-Rock now. Or I deserve Shotgun Suge now. Or I deserve A-Ward if we're talking like an RBE type battle, right? You got to build up. You can't just come in the door and expect to get the top names, right? There has to be something about yourself where there has to be some fan demand. And so if it's possible for even not just URL, but even RBE, I know King of the Dot has done this, right? Where they've given out pay-per-view links to say, you want to buy the pay-per-view, buy it from the battle rapper, because that allows them to gauge fan demand for that particular artist. Build some of that stuff in so these guys can see, yo, ex-battler, you showed up thinking your stuff don't stink or whatever, but when people sign up for the app, they're not signing up for you. They're not buying this pay-per-view because of you. So we want to do true artist development. here's how if you want to be that guy, then you have to get on your P's and Q's and make yourself a fan favorite, make yourself marketable, doing vlogs, doing all those things. So
I think that's tough because I don't know if URL wants to know how important some battlers are, if they want them to know how important they are. And I definitely know some battlers don't want to know how not important they are. You know what I mean? And so, because my thought process is like, yo, you sign up for the app, right? Why is there not a survey immediately that says, hey, select 5 battlers, that brought you to this app? Not one, because one is like, then you got to pick your favorite. Let's just say you get 5, Let's say like, Twerk, T-Top, Loso, Tay-Rock, and Geechee Gotti. Boom. You know what I mean? You can take that and then you can say like, hey, check this out. This is who people come to watch. You know what I mean? And then, but then when you show Twerk that he's the number one guy, now Twerk says, oh, that big bag era is gone. That's funny because, you know what I mean?
But I mean, you got to pay, but I mean, you have to pay people accordingly, right? Like, I think you have to be careful not to overinflate. But I do think who your stars are, right? Like I think Tay-Rock talked about it. Like, I don't think he's going to be taking a pay cut, right? I don't think Twerk in the run that he's been on, I don't think URL can say to him, well, remember when you were choking and you had to do a band battle against Chess to get the public sentiment back on your side? Like, they can't do that right now. Twerk has been one of on the best runs in a minute.
Here's what's tough, man. And I don't even know if saying this puts me in, because I'm definitely, I definitely don't want to make enemies, right? But here's the tough part about it is this is a multi-million-dollar business, right? When I hear Smack talk about big bag era is gone, I don't hear Smack saying, I'm not making as much money as I used to, right? I don't look at it that way, right? So what I am saying is URL with Caffeine and with the amount of events that they were putting on and with them trying to become a monopoly on the culture and trying to sign everybody and get these guys and get them on exclusive and you're over here, right? With that, they provided employment and job opportunities for a lot of battle rappers. And for a couple of years, 2-3 years, they gave them opportunities to make thousands of dollars every month, right? A lot of battle rappers got used to making thousands of dollars of every month. Guess what they did? They started living a different way. They buy a car. They quit a job. They do this. I'm one of Smack's gunners. I'm making this. I'm making this. I'm making this. Boom. The well runs dry. Just like a drug dealer, right? Just like a drug dealer, you got your fiends that need that, right? Now, these same fiends, can you do this battle on a week notice, 2-week notice for this amount? Yeah, because I need bread. I need content. I need money. You need content, And now you're starting to get lack of quality in battles. You're starting to get forced battles. You're starting to get all of this stuff, and you're starting to get battlers, and I'm just using Tay-Rock as an example, who used to just be able to do 2 or 3 battles a year. And now you're popping up and you're like, yo, Tay-Rock's battling here and he's battling here and he's battling here. And I don't want to say that to say that Tay-Rock is one of these guys. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, but there's this quality control and this like content driven, forced, like everything just to get battles that was like driven up from, everybody being like, yo, I'm making bread. And it's a tough situation. But like when Smack says, hey, the big bags are gone or whatever, trying to reset the culture and trying to get people to, hey, you're going to realize you got to take a little bit less. You got to take a little bit less. I don't understand. I mean, I don't know. I don't know like what the foreseeable future looks like. If he's saying like events are scaling back or if he's just saying the money is scaling back. You know what I mean?
I mean, honestly, I feel like it's both. Like, I feel like, to me, I think URL is going to have, they've always put on 4 or 5 app events a year at minimum. At least from my knowledge, not knowing off the top of my head, you're always going to have 4 to 5. But again, we probably won't see Kings versus Queens this year, right? I think we're going to get Gnome, Summer Madness, maybe Homecoming,
and probably a volume.
Maybe because they can pull it off as a small room event. But I mean, if we're lucky, and again, to me, that's not a bad thing. I think to me, it forces MCs to go on the road. go to a riot, a Black Ice. Black Ice is back, right? I know Chicago's had some events. OSBL, Shark Tank, No Entourage, right? If Bullpen, right? It forces them to hit the road, take their game on the road and see how it translates, because I do think in some instances, always performing at home can be a detriment to you because you're used to getting that crowd response. I think it forces them to get on their grind, and it's going to be a sink or swim. Listen, there may be guys who ultimately have to leave the culture because they have to get a 9 to 5, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And they just cannot, because of the cutbacks, because there's not an event every month or every other month that they can get on, a band legacy, a one-rounder Joan, a light work, whatever, they have to get a 9 to 5. And there's nothing wrong with that, man. Do what you got to do to feed your family and survive. But
I like
for
Real
those,
Deal's tweet. Did you see Real Deal's tweet? He's like,
now what he say?
He said, with Smack saying, the big bags are gone and now everybody having to get jobs, like, is it now going to be cool to have a job in battle raps?
Listen, man, battle rappers are like lawyers. They can take anything and spin it into a negative. Anything and spin it into a negative. But now, man, like, these guys are going to have to get on their grind, and either it's sink or swim time, right? Either you got what it takes to do this full time, or again, there's nothing wrong with saying, yo, the bag's not there, the opportunities aren't there. I don't have a demand outside of URL right now. So let me go find something hopefully legal to do that can hold me down until I can get back in that ring.
And
on
I
a regular
use that
basis.
analogy just from experience. You know me, I battle a lot. You know what I mean? Like when you battle a lot like me and you're used to like battle rap checks, I kept my full-time job. I never went full-time battle rapper. You know what I mean? But when you're used to battle rap checks coming in and the well runs dry, or now, hey, I'm only battling once, in a couple months or whatever, you gotta start like, dang, what if I get a one-rounder in North Dakota? I ain't never battled there before. You know what I mean? Like it's tough. It's tough because if you're a professional battle rapper, if you do this like on a full-time level, like a bunch of us, like you enjoy doing it, you enjoy getting paid, to do it. And so it's definitely tough to navigate through. But yeah, I think the URL is just kind of trying to reset the minds of some people in how they approach it, because there's probably some still battlers that are just like, yo, but I just got paid this last year for this. And it's like, I hate to tell you, bro, but that money last year ain't the same money as this year.
So final question, we can get out of here. If you were on that roster, and I mean, we're going to call it for what we're going to say, for better or worse, it's budget cuts, right? You know that you won't be able to hit the URL brand as much as you did in 2023 and previous years. What's your game plan to make sure that you are still active and your name is still out here in the streets? What's your game plan?
Well, so, one thing, if I'm on the roster, like the one thing, if I'm a roster guy, right? Like this is my league, right? I'm having an honest conversation with them. I'm having an honest conversation with them that says, hey, I'm a part of your roster. You know what I mean? You're saying, here's these budget cuts. That's fine. I'm rocking with you. However, you understand just the same way I understand it. If you're budget cutting this, and this is the expectation from me, I need your blessing, and I need you to understand that I'm going to go find a way to compensate myself for what you're not able to do for me, and, so I'm looking at different options that way, because what I'm not going to do is like, nah, forget that and just run over here and jump on another competing league, and diss Smack in my third round, talk about he ain't got big back. I'm not doing that, because like I said, I think Smack just wants to see who's loyal. He wants to come out and say, yo, dang, the bread ain't there like it was before. And he wants to see who's making blogs right now talking crazy. He wants to see, he wants to know, like, who's in it. Like, yo, I'm riding with you. You know what I mean? I'm riding with you till the wheels fall off. So I'm having that conversation with them. Like, hey, if you're saying I can only get 2-3 battles this year, you know what I mean? And the expectation is here. Here's where my expectation is. Here's what I want to do,
Okay. So they say that's cool. Just no Chrome, no RBE. You can battle anywhere else. KOTD, we cool with. Riot, we cool with. John, we cool with. iBattle, we cool with. Just not them two.
I say, you know what? I'm going to do my best to uphold to that, conversation that we've had. And if in the next quarter, 3-4 months, it's not working out, I don't know what to tell you. except RBE. Like, like that's all I'm saying. Is like you can't, you know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, it's like working for any other company. Your job comes and says, hey, boom, like, hey, we're doing budget cuts, but you can't go work at Home Depot. You work for Lowe's. You know what I mean? I got the decision to say, guess what? I really do rock with y'all, but I quit. And so that's going to be the tough thing. The thing about it is URL. You can't really quit URL. It's very, very few people have quit URL, and URL doesn't. From what I feel is, I feel like URL will always bring you back. Like Vada says, if you cook and they book, and they'll always find a way to get that, to get that person back. There might be a couple people that are on there will never book you again, but
I mean, I'm not saying that they've had that conversation, but boy, it's been a long time since Ill Will been over there. It's been a long time. I mean, I say that they will freeze you out. I remember when Summer Madness 7, when all the rappers are choking, Floyd Mayweather's there. Every battle rapper got booked within like the next 3 to 4 months, except for Matt Hoffa. Matt Hoffa sat for a good minute. He might have went to RBE in that meantime, but he was not booked for a minute. So while they will, I think at some point bring you back, and maybe that's a behind the scenes conversation too that has to happen of mending offenses or whatever. Because I do think, like you said, I do think they are not as so hard hearted that they will never bring you back. But I think there has to be some conversation that happen behind the scenes. So, but yeah, man, I appreciate that. Like, that's our time. Anything else you want to say on that before we close it out?
Yo, we got 5 battles in a row starting this weekend. A-Ward versus Hunter Bullets this weekend in Ottawa, Ontario. Next weekend, Rochester, New York, upstate New York. A-Ward versus Story St. James on Onsite Battle League. The next weekend, A-Ward and Loso battling Mac Myron and Clean Paper in a 1-rounder on Anybody Can Die Battle League. The battle is in Pontiac, Michigan, in Mac Myron's backyard, literally in his back. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know if it's literally in his backyard or not. A week after that, A-Ward versus Bonnie Godiva, headlining in New York City on Queen of the Ring. And then a week after that, A-Ward versus Bangs in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Whenever you guys ask me at the end of every year and the beginning of the next year, A-Ward, are you going to do as many battles this year as you did last year? And I always say, well, I don't. The answer is yes. So I've already done one. I got 5. I have 6 booked. I have 5 announced, another one booked, and then it's supposed to get a deposit this weekend for quite possibly the biggest battle of the year for me. So be on the lookout, be excited, and we'll talk after you click the "We're Not Live" button anymore.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Because I'm like, that last one, I'm like, wait, I ain't heard about that one. Okay, cool. So we get this last comment on the way out the door. Man, listen, I can go pull the clip of him saying, yeah, I think I'm going to battle like 8 to 10 times next year. I think I'm going to take it easy, chill out. And then now it's 5 battles in 5 weeks. So, yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
But,
all right, man. Yeah.
However, my rounds for Bullets are done. I have almost a round done for Bonnie. I have a half a round done for Story St. James. Like, I'm low-key way ahead writing-wise than I've had. Like, normally, I'm writing the day before, for the battle. So I battle Bullets on Saturday. All 3 rounds done, mostly memorized. So I'm writing right now for everybody else. So I'm feeling good. Mom, I can't tell you this one. Mama's on too many blogs. She's going to slip up. She's gonna restore order announces A-Ward versus, No.
Dre, I'll tell you when I'm done. I'll tell you when I'm off the line.
Call me on 3-way is like the most old man thing. Like y'all gotta go on somewhere. Call me from your landline.
All right. So please remember, you can check out every episode of It's a Black and White Thing by going to the podcast app of your choice, searching for It's a Black and White Thing or Brains and Bars. Please rate, review, subscribe, hit the notification bell, share, tell a friend to tell a friend. It's them boys again. You can check us out on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook by searching at Brains and Bars. Follow, leave comments, share that as well. IamAward.com, IamAwardmerch.com.
IamAwardShop.com. It's been so long since we've actually shouted it out. I need to see. It's either IamAwardMerch.com or IamAwardShop.com. I think it's I'm one or the other. Anyways,
Yeah.
I can follow me on all social media. And yeah.
Till next time, it's been a black
Anyway.
thing, man. I'll holler at y'all next week. Y'all be easy. Go Niners.
Hey.